everybody, Deborah Lynn here in the studio. I hope you guys are all doing well. I was having a blast, and if you have not tried this yet, for my followers, if you have not tried this yet, you are missing out. This is a ton of fun. And if you have some alcohol inks, by all means, let's get that out, okay? I'm also going to be using Spray Gloss by Dina Wakley by Ranger. If you don't have that, you can use an acrylic, a liquid acrylic, or there's also a liquid acrylic in white by like golden that you could use also, or you could use craft white, okay, paint. I might pick some of that up too when I go to the craft store, but this is what I have on hand right now. And I found some glass ornaments at the Goodwill. I got 2 of these packs for $3. Yesterday was Black Friday. They were having 50 off. And so I was able to pick these up. The only thing that I don't like about them is that the tops are silver. So I'm going to get into addressing the issue with that. I might bling these out a little bit more. I also want to find a cute box to put them in, okay? And I'm going to show you how I'm going to go about finding a box to put them in. And I also want to paint the outside of the box. So this is a little bit of a really put your heart into gift giving. You know, for a gift, I might give somebody like 4 ornaments in a box, depending on the size of the box that I can find. I'm going to take you guys with me. We're going to go look for a box. We're going to go find the things that we need, and we're going to put it all together, and we're going to make some really pretty gifts for Christmas for our friends, for our family. Maybe it's your hairdresser that you want to give them a little something for Christmas. And you know, a lot of them know about your art and what you're doing. I think it's really important to express yourself, not always sometimes in a painting, but let's give them something that they could probably treasure also throughout the years. Look at my glove. I've got a blowout, so I got to get a new glove on. I've got 2 different colored gloves here. Here is, I've saved some egg crates. This helps when you're working and let them dry, okay? That you can put them in the egg crate. And the other side I use to put my isopropyl in there. Put down a drop cloth because you don't want to stain your table. Maybe put some plastic underneath it and then put your tablecloth down. I have this little blower that I can use, okay? And I do use that, and I'm going to show you what I do. And I also have a little hair dryer next to me, so when I'm ready to hit it with some heat, grab our little Christmas bulb, and I'm going to take the top off and throw that to the side. Deal with it later. Just be careful not to lose them. And then I also have some bronze, some aqua bronze. This is by Schmika. This is just a powder that I throw in there. You can also use like the alcohol inks. This one's called Rich Gold by Pinata. This is Pinata. But you have to shake it up real well. There's a little ball in there, but you do have to shake it up real well. You can use that also. So those will come into play. I like gold, so we're going with gold. One is Glacier and Senorita, Magenta, and maybe we'll get a little teakwood in there. Teakwood gets a little bit orange. Let's see, is there a different one? What's this one? Yeah, let's do the sepia instead. Okay, let's start with that. No, I say that, and then I'm gonna put another one out. Passion Purple. Okay, so I have some colors here. And so I've got Passion Purple, Sepia, Senorita, Magenta, and Glacier. And these are either Ranger products or Pinata. Use what you have. I mean, you can do any kind of combo you want. So now I'm going to take some 91% isopropyl alcohol, okay? And I have a pipette. These are those little things that you can pick up the isopropyl alcohol with, and I'm going to put a little bit of this into my well here. And so that's ready. And I'm just gonna go in and start having fun. Now it's gonna get real messy, but I'm gonna go ahead and put some of this glacier in. And if I get stuff on the outside, I can always clean that all up in a minute. And maybe what I will do is I'll get a little paper towel here with a little bit of rubbing alcohol on it for, I'm going to clean that. I spilled some on the outside, so that way it doesn't distract from what I'm doing on the inside, so I can kind of keep my eye on what's going. So right now I just put a little bit of this glacier in there, and I'm just kind of rolling the ball around and letting it do its thing. And once you get the alcohol in there, it's also going to do its thing. And let's put a little of this purple passion in. Okay. And also what you want to do, what I don't have here ready, is to get some paper plates out. This helps also. So I have some paper plates ready if I need. So okay, so then a little bit of sepia now. Okay, and now I'm going to just take a little bit of the bronzer. Use a little palette knife here, and I'm going to throw some of that bronzer in there. We'll do this one with bronze powder. This one's a lot more subtle. It just kind of makes the paint all shimmery inside. So I'm just going to fill up a palette knife with some of this bronzer and just kind of sprinkle that in. And just gonna kind of roll this around a little bit. Get my pipette. I'm gonna fill it up with some isopropyl, not too much, just a little bit. Just a few drops. You don't want too much, because then there's way too much happening inside. And you just go ahead and roll the ball. And this is where the plate comes in handy, because a lot of this has to drain out. Okay. This one's very brown. It's really pretty. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to hit the inside of this with a little bit of heat, and then I'm going to go in with another color again and add another color, because it's kind of all blended. And it's really pretty. So now let's go back in with some of that blue. Let's go in with that glacier. I'm just going to rotate that around, have a little fun with that. Now what I can do here also, go in with my liner brush. It's about an inch and a half almost. I'm going to fill this up with some isopropyl, and I'm just going to go in and I'm just going to kind of dot this around. What this does is make like little cells. Just kind of touch it in certain spots. That's what that's looking like right now. Okay, you're looking at it and you're saying, well, that doesn't look like much of anything. But what I'm going to do here next is what makes it really cool. So now we're going to blow dry the inside of that a little bit and dry that alcohol. And what I decided to do here is I'm going to drop some of this. I have a lot of the powder, but I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of this piñata in. Again, let's shake it up really well before we do that. It's a little bit heavier and thicker, so it's gonna cling a little bit more. And then I dump out my isopropyl all over. And if you want it to move a little bit, then you have to put some of that isopropyl in there so it can move. And then I'm just going to shake out the excess. This one's going to be pretty teal color. This, I'm going to cool it off just a little bit. Okay, now for the big reveal. Now we're gonna put some white in there. I'm gonna spray some of this gloss spray in there. This is the Dina Wakley by Ranger Spray Gloss. If you don't have it, go ahead and this is like a liquid acrylic. You can use in a liquid acrylic. I'm just gonna spray the inside. There's about 6 sprays. And now I'm just gonna rotate that white all over, get that moving. And you're gonna start seeing the white is going to give it a backdrop, so then you can kind of see what's going on. And then you kind of keep rotating, and you can kind of see in there where it needs the acrylic paint to flow around. And then you can take it up to the light and see. And sometimes you want to have some spots maybe clear, but it's up to you. I'm making mine more opaque. I don't want to really see through them. There's a spot right there that's not getting any paint. It's pretty cool when you put the colors in there. It makes its own. It mixes on its own, which is really pretty cool. And you can get your pipette and grab a little alcohol. That's if you have any more left, because it's been blowing around. And we can just pop a little bit more color in there. Just giving it a pop of that blue. See how it just intensified everything? So if it's looking a little bit weak, you can pump it up by just adding just a little bit more in there. Which I have put just a little bit of that isopropyl in there. Just to kind of breaks down the walls a little bit with the acrylic also. Let's drop out the excess. Not a whole lot in there. It's really opaque blue coming out. That's pretty. Now what I'm going to do here is I just get my one of my paper towels, just put a little bit of isopropyl on here, and I just go around the bulb and clean it all up. And I'm going to put him in my little egg crate. I'll just kind of tilt it a little bit like that and let him do a little bit of his draining. This time we're going to do this a little different. I'm going to spray in some acrylic. Okay. Get Put some of that acrylic down. Just like that. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to dry that. Acrylic down in there first and dried it. So now let's put some denim in here. A bunch of paint on the outside. I'll clean that off. Okay, let's dry this one. Okay, spray in some white. It's really pretty. A lot more white. Okay, so let's clean that off. Drain. This time, let's do okay. Now I'm going to go in with some Marinade. do some passion purple. And let's do some wild plum. Let's blow this. Okay, that's cool. Let's do this one needs more color. This one needs a burst of something. Turquoise. Okay, I really like that turquoise in there. Okay, let's let that drain. Get some turquoise in here. Back to this one. Let's just do a little bit of gold in it, see if it shows up. Okay, next thing. Next thing is this. Okay, so now the next thing is to get some of this product called Rub and Buff. It's antique gold. And I'm just going to put some of this down. And we're just basically going to put Rub and Buff all over this. And very easily change this. Get rid of the silver. Okay. Let's still. Okay, I forgot to show you this because I just happened to find it when I was going through some of my alcohol inks. I had a bottle of this snow cap. It's a mixable. It is their white paint for highlights when you roll it around inside the what do I want to say, inside the ornament. So you can use the white acrylic paints like I was using and spray them in, or use a thin liquid one, or you can use the snow cap. So any of those would work. Okay, so I'm going to continue filling up some of these ornaments and making sure that everything is covered with the white on the inside because I want them opaque. I don't want areas that light can shine through. So I am inspecting all of these ornaments at this time and putting more white in if needed. And you'll also notice in that plastic container there are two broken ornaments. As you're working, make sure you wear gloves because these can actually break. Sometimes the glass is so thin on some of them that when you're working on it, they will just break in your hands. So make sure you wear gloves. Now I'm not going to bore you to tears here and have you watch me inspect each ornament and make sure that the inside's coated and there's no light trickling through in certain areas. Like I said, I want these ornaments all to be opaque. I don't want some clear spots. I want everything covered on the inside. So that's what I'm doing here is I'm just doing inspecting, and I'm going to go through all of them, and I'm not going to bore you again. So I'm just going to stop the film here and we'll pick up at the next stage. And after I've filled them all up with the mixable, making sure everything's all covered, I'm going to go in and I'm going to blow dry the insides of all of these for the next step. Okay, now in the next step, I'm just going to clean the ornaments. I've got a paper towel with isopropyl on it, and I'm just going to clean everything up because my hands are dirty and they're picking up acrylic paint and whatever, and they get kind of dirty on the outside. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to clean the balls really well. Again, the insides are all dry, and I'm going and I'm cleaning the outside, and then I'm going to go ahead and put the tops on all of these, and then we'll get to the ribbon stage. Okay, now we're going to be moving into ribbon stage, and I'm going to use a ribbon that I had actually in the studio. I thought I would go out and buy ribbon for the actual ornaments, but I found this blue sari ribbon that I had in my studio, and the color's perfect. It couldn't be any better. And what I love about the sari ribbon that you can find on Amazon, I'll drop a link for it, it's silk. And the edges are raw and frayed, and the color is, in some areas it's more vibrant, whereas other areas it's more muted. So there's a little bit of variation, and I love the sari ribbon. So if you've never purchased any sari ribbon before, I highly recommend it. It's really pretty, and as you can see, it actually turned out really nice for these ornaments. So I just made it approximately however long I wanted to make it, and then I cut two pieces so I can use one as my guide as I cut more sari ribbon. And so I'm going to use the one that I have here, and I'm just going to use that as my measuring tool for the next piece of sari ribbon. And I'm just going to put a pretty bow on each of these. And I won't bore you to tears through this whole process of me putting ribbons on each one of them, although they're very pretty and it's very cute. I'm just going to kind of blow past all that. Okay, so I have a nice pile of ornaments here that I've been working on, and now I'm just putting the last ribbon on the last one and tying that up, and I think they turned out really, really cute. Now the next step that I'm going to do is I want to put these in a really pretty box. Now you could probably find a box that was already pre-printed, or maybe even want to put them in a pretty gold one. I'm going to go to Hobby Lobby. They do have white ones, they have gold ones, they have different colored ones that you can pick from, but I want to get just a plain white one because I want to paint the box. I want the experience to be that they get a present from me and that the box is painted and the inside is full of these pretty little gems. So stay tuned here for the next step. Okay, the next stage. This one's just as much fun as making the bulbs, is making a pretty box to put them in. And if you're an artist, do you want to present a box like this? No, of course not. I mean, you could put a really pretty bow on it and call it a day. And I guess when you're in a pickle and you don't have the time, then that's what you do. Or you can maybe find a pretty shiny gold one, or maybe you can find a pre-printed one. Here's a pre-printed one. I'm just storing all the bulbs that I just painted. And there's a pre-printed one that you could do. And you could put them in there and call it a day. But I like to have fun, and I want to paint the entire process here with even the boxes painted up. So let's put this to the side, and I'm going to show you the little box. Okay, so here's a box that I found at Hobby Lobby. It's just it looks like it's about a 5x5 or a 6x6 box, and it's got like a little magnetic close And I'm just gonna paint that up and probably put a little bow on it and call it a day. So this is what I painted up. It went from that to that, and I painted the inside of it. And as you can see, I already have 3 ornaments already pre-placed within the box. And I have a little bit of this crinkle paper in there for cushioning everything. And I think it just turned out as sweet as can be. I mean, who would not want a pretty little gift like this? I definitely would. And then you get these pretty crinkle paper, okay? And if you know that somebody's just into blue and white, you could do a whole blue and white kind of theme and have fun. Or maybe they like blacks and golds or whatever, you know what I mean? Create it the way, study their home and what they're picking, look for their pops of colors in their home, and then create something, or maybe check out their Christmas tree and what they have done with their Christmas tree and what colors they're picking, and then you can customize the Christmas ornaments for them. Now, I'm thinking more of my daughter, and she loves color. Her home is nothing but color. She doesn't have any specific color that she likes more than another. She just likes color. So I'm just going to give her a nice big gift box. I have yet to do hers, and she'll get a nice gift box, and you can do approximately 6 of them in this one. And this box was also, I found at Hobby Lobby. It's called the Nested Box, and $2.99, not bad. And sometimes these go on sale too. So you get those little boxes, and these little boxes are cute. Then you can keep them to hold those bulbs, which is what I would probably do. I would just, you know, every year the little box comes out, and you know, store them in there like that. Or you could use this for everyday use, or maybe you don't even want to make the ornaments. Maybe you just want to make the boxes, just so you can put some in your closet or for some storage stuff. So cute idea. I think it turned out really sweet. You'll have to let me know what you think. Now we're going to have some fun here, and we're going to paint up one of these boxes, okay? Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pick a color that I want to paint this one. Now I could go blue, pink, orange, yellow, whatever I want to do, or maybe want to do multicolors, but I'm going to keep these boxes simple, okay? I'm not going to get into a bunch of the different colors, because then it's a little bit more time consuming and a lot more layers that need to happen when you get into doing these pixelated paintings. So I'm going to fill up my palette here with just a couple colors, and then we're gonna maybe just 2 colors and go from there. But one thing I wanted to show you that is a game changer for me when it comes to acrylic paint. One of the problems that I have with an acrylic paint is that it dries so fast. Now, I'm a fluid painter. I like to work in watercolors. So to work in a heavy body acrylic to me is like torture, okay? And I've had this love-hate relationship with acrylic, but for the last, I've been kind of focused on acrylics a lot lately, trying to get myself through that mindset and having a breakthrough with acrylics. And I am doing some really pretty acrylic stuff that's happening right now, and I'm really enjoying it. But here's my game changer. The thing with the acrylics, like I said, is that it dries really fast. And the way to fix that is not to put an extender in there. You can. This is your game changer. The Master Sun palette. Run out and get yourself one. You can get them in different sizes. I got the bigger one, 16 by 24, because when I paint, I'm kind of sloppy, okay? And it just goes everywhere. So I got myself the bigger one. It's a bit of a mess already because I've been using it, trying it out, and I found out it works, and it's fantastic. Master Sun, okay? then inside the palette is just this box. Okay, so you just get this box, plastic Masterson box, okay? But then you buy these sponges that go in there, and they stay wet. So what you do is you clean the one that you get in the package, and this isn't clean, this is stained from paint, but you rinse it out, follow the directions on the product bag, okay? You wring it out you don't wring it out completely, you leave it a little wet. So this is still wet, and then you lay that in there, and then you get their palette paper. Now you can't use just normal palette paper from like Hobby Lobby. It's not the same thing. I'm telling you, it is not the same thing. It will not work. You have to use the Masterson brand, okay? It's called Stay Wet, and it does stay wet, okay? So you get the sponges, okay? You got the tray, you get this, so it's a little bit of an investment, but then again, you can get different sizes to reduce the price. But like I said, I like to work with a bigger palette, so I got the bigger one and invested. But I'll always have this, and it is a game changer. So you get the sponges, and then you get the palette paper. Now the palette paper, you think, oh, I'll just use it once, and when I'm done, I just throw it away. No, you can wash this palette paper, and it might be a little stained, but you can still use it, okay? So I popped out, so you get 30 sheets of palette paper here, and it's just this, I don't know how to explain it, but it's a specific kind of paper. And pull a sheet of that out, but then you're gonna have to follow the instructions on the back. I'm not even gonna give you all the step-by-steps of how to deal with it, but follow the instructions on the package, and you let it soak in hot water and wring it out, and then lay it down, and then do your thing. And you go in and you just close this up. When you're done, you leave that acrylic paint in there, and it can stay. The next day you're going to come back, everything's exactly like you left it, okay? You can leave it without the lid on and everything, and for a few hours, and go walk away and come back, and it's still going to stay exactly like you left it. You can leave it in there for a week, pop this open, it's still going to be active. You can have your paint in here for quite a while. The only problem is it can get a little bit stinky. That's the only thing, but it does air out quickly after you've had it open for a little while. So I'm gonna get my paper. Let me go grab that from the hot sink that I've got it sitting in the sink. Okay, so I squeezed it out. It still has a lot of water on it. Pop the lid off. Put that to the side, and I'm gonna lay this sheet of paper down in there. And I'm just going to take a little paper towel, and I'm just going to just pick up the puddles if there is any. Again, it's still going to stay wet, and you want that to have moisture in it, but you just don't want a bunch of puddles of water, so when you're working with your acrylic, things aren't getting messy. I'm going to figure out what I'm going to do for painting the box. I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to just use my acrylic white, and I have to pick a blue. Here's a Prussian blue. Let's do Prussian blue. That's pretty, but that's for a whole box. That could get really expensive. Let's see. Here's a fluid blue. Let's do this cerulean blue hue, and then maybe I'll put a little Prussian blue with it. The other thing I need to do is put some gloves on, because I'm such a sloppy little painter. Now you could go in and you could gesso this entire box, but I'm not even gonna bother with that. I just have a big brush here. I'm just going to be using an angled brush. This is a Royal Langnickel. number 12. I do and I have my plastic container that I put my water in. I don't use my pretty glass containers when I'm working with acrylic because it gets so messy. I just use the like Chinese takeout plastic containers they give you your food in, and works perfectly. Okay, so let's get some titanium white down. And I'm going to put some of this Liquitex Basics fluid down. This is cerulean. And maybe I put just a little bit of Prussian blue over here to the side. And okay, now that I have my paints laid out, I'm going to go into painting the box. I'm not going to put gesso on it or anything like that. I'm just going to go in with the pure acrylic. I'm not really using any, not using a lot of water at all in this process. I am going to speed this film up so we're not here forever. And it'll be about 2 minutes of fast video, and then I'll slow it back down again, and we'll talk about how I'm going to put bows on the top, and then we'll be done. So here we go. Let's get into painting the box. I'm just going to do it in this pixelated effect that I like to do with some of my abstracts. So enjoy. Going to go inside. Get all my crinkles in there. Let's turn it with the bow facing the correct way. And there we have it. Now the time is to say, do we put ribbon on the top of these? Okay, so this one's still drying. I have my sorry ribbon also. I could do a velvet ribbon that clashes. Let's try a little sari ribbon. Let's just see. Keep it all. Gonna find the middle, and now I'm going to make a little bow like this. There we go, there's one box. Crisscross it on the bottom, and then bring it to the top. Then I'm going to feed that underneath there. And feed this one under there. Okay. And get a piece of ribbon. Got that laid there. Okay, there's 2 little gift boxes ready to go with ornaments in it. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed these Christmas ornaments that we made. They were a lot of fun, a lot of color, and the boxes were also a joy to make. Pure labor of love for gift giving, for those special people in your lives. For right now, everybody, stay safe out there in this world. Stay well, and may God bless each and every one of you this Christmas season. Bye for now.